Hello everyone, this is Nick with Nick Does DGI and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be going over my biggest investing regret. I've been a pretty middle class family, but we never discussed money or finances. My parents were successful immigrants running mom and pop businesses, so I learned a great deal about hard work ethic, frugality, and the great American dream. However, I lack knowledge about investing and growing your money. It was only in 2015 when I finally showed an interest at age 24 about the stock market. I began to wonder how much I would have had if I had started investing at an earlier age. So that started my quest to learn more about investments. And that's when a lot of resources online started talking about time in the market and compound interest. So let's talk about compound interest and why it's often called the eighth wonder of the world. So compound interest, it's an elusive mathematical formula, which I'm not going to even try to summarize in my own terms because even for me, it sometimes is pretty confusing. But compound interest basically means that the interest that you earn each year is added to your principal, and the following year, your growth is compounded on your previous year. And basically, it's used at in most useful concepts of finance, whether it's your personal savings plans to, in this case, the long-term growth of the stock market. It also accounts for inflation. And unfortunately, consumer debt, um, it works in a very negative way when your credit card interest rates are, 15, 20, 25%. But just to make this easier to illustrate, let's go over this article, which sets up a comparison between two best friends, Jen and Amber. They both start working at 24, but Jen is eager to invest right away. So right away, she starts putting away $3,000 a year. And for her, you know, she wants to invest upfront. So she invests for 10 years and $3,000 a year is $250 a month. So for her, in total of 10 years, she invests $61,153 of her own money, and then she stops when she turns 35. And then she lets compound interest do the rest. And we here says we are assuming the rate of return at 10%, which is reasonable. I just don't know if that includes that 2% inflation rate, but regardless, the purpose of this illustration still stands. So we have Amber on the other hand. She is a little apprehensive or is not as comfortable investing in that early part of her career. So when she turns 35, that's when she's a married homeowner and the idea of investing makes more sense to her. So so for Amber, from age 35 to until she retires at age 65. That's when she invests $3,000 a year or $250 a month. But, she is investing in a whole another 20 years more than Jen. So even though, let's see, the end result is even though Jen only invested 10 years, at the end, when both of them are 65 years old, Jen will have over $500,000 more than Amber because she started early, she'll end up with $1,000,000, 173,000, and $789. And that's assuming that's assuming she invests a flat 250 a month. And and it's even better when she if she is able to start increasing that monthly contribution as she builds up her career in her late 20s and her early 30s. So if she starts investing three, four, $500 a month, then this final number is even larger. And when I see this comparison, next to each other, that really illustrates the power of compound interest. Just because compound interest is so invisible in many of our lives, a lot of people, myself included, it took me a long time to comprehend, all these formulas that work in the background. Um, for me, I beat myself up for not investing when I was in college, right around these years. Um, just because, looking back, I was a naive college kid. I didn't know anything about the market. You know, heck, you know, back here when I was entering college, I didn't even know that there was a recession, the great financial recession. And I was just off in college doing my, general studies, or, hanging out with friends, doing your, college life activities. But, like this, the quotes from C.S. Lewis, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can definitely start where you are and change the ending. And for me, in my, I guess, late 20s now, I want to, change the ending, because, I still have, knock on wood, many decades of life and my working career left ahead of me. So instead of, looking back and kind of just, thinking about what I could have done in the past, let me look forward and, definitely make sure that my future is, accounted for and planned for, especially now that I am married. I want to just really, think about the whole household, and make sure that I want to take advantage of compound interest. Um, you know, there will be dips in the market, as you can see here. You had the dot-com bubble, went down 36, even here 40%, 41%. You had the great financial recession, the market dipped, over 50%. And then as recently as this year, thanks to the Rona, the market dipped really quickly, over a third, 34%, just within a month. But then, the resiliency of the stock market is that it started recovering almost right away. And the lesson is, if you continue to invest, whether the market is high or the market is low, in the long result, it's going to continue to grow. And the way I think about it is, say I was my parents' age, they're on the younger side of being baby boomers, so they could have started investing in the early 80s, mid 80s. So say I was 60 years old or something, and if I invested in 1980, 40 years ago, that initial investment uh, would be up, over 2,600%. And for me, not a lot of people, invest, that long in the future. I talk to a lot of friends, and, oftentimes, they're either just investing in their 401k and general funds, and not really knowing what they're investing in, and then just letting the ETFs, do the work for them, which is great. But then I have other friends who, don't partake in the 401k or the Roth IRA, or any sort of investment vehicle. And they want to, either hold their savings in cash, or even in bonds, or just in the savings account. And that kind of breaks my heart, because, there's inflation, there's, lifestyle inflation, the cost of education is going up, the cost of housing. Let me tell you, as a real estate professional here in California, the real estate housing prices are, skyrocketing, and food prices are, have remained the same. But just, man, the cost of education, I can't even imagine. When my future kids go to college, I can't even, like, phantom, like, the cost of education in, 20, 25 years. So just, it's just, for me, everything seems like it's going to go up. So, people, at least my generation, millennials, Gen Zers, at this rate, we can't really rely on, Social Security to pay for all of our retirement sources of income. So that's why, using this channel, or even in my personal life with friends and family, I want to advocate for just good personal finance and good investment strategies, so that, everyone can take advantage, and make sure that their future is stable. And so that wraps up the video. Thank you again for watching. For the YouTube algorithm, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and share this video with everyone. The more engagement I get, the more likely my videos will show up on the YouTube algorithm. Bye.